evening. Welcome back to Where the Owls Sleep. It's another session of the Parliament. We have a few new bits of branding this week, which I'm extremely excited about. Stocky, how's it going? First off, fantastic shirt in the background.
Yeah. I tried to pick the roguest shirt I had out of all the teams in it, and sort of Juventus, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. They didn't cut it, so the best I had was River Plate. Maybe if I win the lottery, maybe I can get some Sundance merchandise.
That'd be the
But
one.
I'm sure we'll be speaking about our boys plenty later on.
100%. We will get into that. But we do have another hour with us this evening. And it's Jack. How's it going, mate? You good?
Yeah, all good. Thanks very much, guys.
Good.
All right, mate.
Everybody's avoiding the heat by the looks of things this weekend. I nearly died playing football yesterday, which was a very bad idea.
Yeah, that's bold.
Yeah. So we'll get into a few. Oh, go on, Stocks.
I was going to say I've been watching sports all weekend. It's been wonderful. I've had the English trifecta. I've had rugby, cricket, and football on since I finished work on Friday.
Yeah, you can't really.
So quite a mixed bag then.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Little transfer roundup as Done Deals is on the screen. Not much has happened since last week, to be fair. I've picked out 3 of the main deals that have happened over the last week. We've got, from left to right, Adrian Tufa, who is Kirkaz's replacement, going to Bournemouth. Leeds have signed Lucas and Mitch from Wolfsburg on a free. And I've added this last one in because I've been watching him in the club, your under 21 Euros, and it's Diego Coppola, I think is how you pronounce his name, and he's going to Brighton, who is I think he's 20 or 21-year-old centre back who looks very, very good. It looks like they've got themselves another little gem on a very good deal, to be fair. So I thought I'd mention them 3. I don't suppose anybody knows anything about them 3 or's got any opinion about.
To be honest, I don't. I think I have most trust in Bournemouth signing a left back. They're just so joined up with everything they do recently.
Actually, I've had an ever so slight mare here because that is not Diego Coppola. I've confused myself. That is I'm pretty sure he's a Greek striker.
Oh, is this the Greek striker?
And I've put him up
was linked
because
with.
they've spent an awful lot of money on him. I will find his name. I've just had an absolute mare. Sure.
Must admit.
Karalampos Kostoulis. And they've paid £31 million for him.
Wow.
Which is why I've brought that up.
What Brighton have?
Brighton have, yeah, £31 million for an 18-year-old with only 1 season of senior football behind him. From Olympiacos, he's come from.
I always wonder if Brighton can keep pulling that out of the bag, because obviously now everyone knows they're renowned for this scouting. Surely, if Brighton come in for your player, you're going to bump up the prices, so it's going to be harder to find the value. Be interesting to see how he does.
Maybe that's what they've hit here, because £31 million a lot for an 18-year-old.
He has been like highly rated. I've heard that he was good, and there was a lot of clubs sniffing around. I haven't watched any of his games myself, though. That's a lot of money, though.
To be fair, if they do their usual turnaround on him, they're looking at upwards of, they're looking in and around £100 million. Because normally they bring in players for like 5-6 mil, like centre midfielders that then go for 60, 70. If you're bringing in a £30 million striker to do a similar thing with, you're going to be hoping to triple that at least, surely.
Well, I suppose if they're bringing him in, does that mean João Pedro's out the door to you?
Potentially. The Newcastle news has gone awfully quiet at the minute. I do think I've got a little bit of I don't know what you'd call it. I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theory, but I've got an idea of what we're doing. I think we're waiting until the end of this month to see how bad of trouble Villa are in to see if we can pick someone off them for cheap if they are massively in PSR trouble. If not, we may sign someone before June 30th, but I think otherwise we're waiting until the new financial year.
Fair enough.
I would say the Pedro and Trafford deals are pretty much there or thereabouts, but they don't want them deals in this financial year, just in case they can get someone from Villa on a very good deal.
James Trafford.
Money. James Trafford, yeah.
My boy.
Yeah.
Tell you one thing he loves, mate, James Trafford. Bolton fucking Wanderers.
Well, there you go. We can have we can bond over James Trafford, Jack.
Yeah, I love him. I love him. Bolton have just signed on loan, the England under 21s keeper from Chelsea. So the last England under 21s goalkeeper we got was James Trafford, and he's done all right since.
Nice. Yeah, he's had a really good season at Burnley, so hopefully he can step it back up because he had a wobble in the Premier League last time round, but it was a big jump coming from League One the season before he came into the Premier League.
Yeah, from the Papa John's Trophy winning League One team, Bolton Wanderers. Yeah.
To be fair though, Company hung him out to dry that year in the Prem.
Yeah.
Properly.
Pretty much most of the team out, didn't he?
Yeah.
After he said on the second game of the season, live on Match of the Day, no, I will not be adapting our style of play. I was like, yeah, you're in for a rough season.
Yeah, well, it's worked for him, isn't it? He got to stick to his principles.
Yeah.
On the Bundesliga title.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Let's see how long he stays at the top level of management, though. Not really many other deals to talk about. We'll talk about a few rumours and potentials. We'll roll on to this one. It looks done to Man United. Now Thomas Frank has gone to Tottenham. A lot of the talk is that Brian Mbeumo could follow him from Brentford and end up at Tottenham as well for in and around 60 to 65 million pounds, which is mega money again. I think it's a bit of a gamble, personally.
Yeah, I think it's more of a certified. I think you got more chance of it being well now that Frank's at Tottenham, but it's the whole price tag. I know it shouldn't affect what people see in a player generally, but it does. So when you pay £65 million for him, you're expecting to be the standout player every week. I think he's an excellent team player in the system at Brentford and really worked well with Wissar. Some nice finishes, some good play. But when you go for 65, people expect that as a standard every week. It changes his perception. And unfortunately, it's out of his hands, but I suppose that's the way the cookie crumbles. It'd be interesting. It'd do better at Tottenham than Man United, though.
I think it's much of a muchness, to be honest. Yeah, actually, you're probably right because he'll play his usual role that he has under Frank at Tottenham. I think he'll be playing a little bit more inside at Man United. So yeah, I'd make you right on that. But yeah, £65 million is a lot of money for someone he's been good for a couple of years, but he's had one standout season, and for 65, you'd want pretty much the same again. Anything to add on that one, Jack?
I'm just thinking about James Trafford still, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. It's just that the reason why I'm thinking about it is that the players we just put up then, about the transfers.
Yeah.
Like James Trafford would be a bigger transfer than any of them.
Any of these guys, yeah.
Well, just naturally because we're England.
Yeah.
Conor Bradley at Liverpool, he would be a big transfer if he was to go somewhere. And they were both in our team, and we still couldn't get out of league fucking one.
Trigger PTSD. Sorry, Jack.
No, it's just mad. And both of them were singing on a Wembley pitch when we won there, and then balls at the playoffs afterwards. And you just think, what are they worth now? Combined 100 million?
In and around, yeah. You don't think you're far off. Probably, actually, yeah, you're probably thinking a little bit less. I reckon we get Trafford for in and around 30. I reckon Bradley would go for a similar fee as well, just because he hasn't played that many matches over the last few years.
Well, he's going to be nailed on starter now, isn't he?
It's either him. They've signed Frimpong, haven't they? So.
Oh shit! Yeah.
His place.
So Kirkes is left back, Frimpong's right back.
Yeah.
But Frimpong's just everywhere, isn't he?
Frimpong, he covers that whole flank.
Right.
He's up and down, up and down.
He's going to be a fantasy football beast, isn't he?
I reckon so.
Yeah.
And then I'm rubbish at fantasy football, as you know, Jack.
Rubbish at paying your fucking debts as well, mate.
Yeah, need to get on that. I haven't forgot. I just haven't paid it yet.
Which I respect. Just keep it till the end of next season, mate, because I can't imagine I will get that lucky again. I don't know. I'm being nice, actually. No, fuck off. Yeah. Just send me a picture of James Trafford.
Does anyone do the Chumpo fantasy football? They do like the Football League fantasy football as well, don't they?
Ironically, mate, I did do the Football League one and actually did get bored after like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it similar?
Yeah, it's you have to have a player from each league, I think. So it's Championship League 1 and League 2.
Okay.
And there's a captain. Yeah, there's actually more scoring things from memory, which I always find quite incredible that they have the stats going down to that League 2, like shots on target and stuff for players, obviously. But yeah, last year it was just load up with Burnley, load up with Leeds, load up with Birmingham City, and there you go. That's fucking 75% of your squad.
Fair enough. Might be something to look into for a little pod game throughout the season. If we've got like a few of us on it, it might be get it a little bit competitive. It could be interesting.
My exact words to my dad were, "I can't think of another thing just to piss me off."
Yeah, another thing that can ruin your week.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not add one more in there?
Yeah.
Right, let's do a couple more of these before we get into something else. So another one that I've seen gathering pace over the last few days. It looked like Newcastle were going to have a bit of a free run at him, but now Liverpool and Arsenal were involved. And I think I saw this morning that he's potentially going to play out his last year at Palace and go on a free next year, which is painful for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Painful stuff, because they could have got 60. I think we offered them 55 or 60 mil last summer, and they turned it down. So to not get anything this year and go on a free next year, that's a kick in the nuts, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, it is. It's just shit, isn't it? They won the FA Cup. They're going into Europe, and you're best off selling him, even if you get less than 60 now. Best off selling him. Just get that done. Don't have it ticking on over summer, and do that. I think there's no good. No good will come from having that hanging over, and then hanging over you all season.
It smacks of one of them ones where he actually has a pretty poor season, because if the fans know that he's running his contract down, he won't get as much support as he normally would and stuff like that. Unless they just see him as a hero that's lifted him a cup and he gets like a hero's exit, but I can't really see that.
Well, they've been linked with a centre back from Sporting, so maybe that's why.
Okay.
Maybe that's why they're trying to get him in before he goes. But Glasner likes to play 3 at the back, doesn't he? So you'd think they'd want 2.
They play the exact system that Man United play. They just do it an awful lot better.
With a lot better players essentially across the whole park.
Yeah, 100%. They've got square pegs in square holes everywhere across the pitch, and it works for them. Whereas Man United it's just weird mismatch of players.
Arsenal going for another centre back. Why would they need to do that?
Yeah, no idea, to be honest. Not sure. Maybe there's talks that Real might come and try and get Saliba off them. Maybe they're not sure that Gabriel's going to come back the same player. Maybe it is just for depth, because for me, Cavill is not top level. If one of them get an injury again, that's a big drop off, I feel.
Yeah, but you can't keep stockpiling all these players in positions that you loaded when everyone knows you desperately need a striker.
Yeah, well, it's Arsenal, innit? They can
Then
turn
again,
around.
actually, why am I complaining?
Yeah,
Fucking crack on, lads.
they can turn around and go, we've got the best defence in the world and stuff like that, and they'll be happy with that. So,
Hey, they were the best team in the Champions League. Arteta said it.
yeah, they beat PSG on XG and everything. Right, let's do one more.
How long is Gabriel out for?
I think he's back sort of training at the minute, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a little look. Because he's only been out, he was out what? He missed like the last 2 months of the season?
I feel like it's a bit later than that. Yeah, I can't remember now.
I thought he got injured in.
Oh, it feels longer.
I thought he got injured in April. Maybe I'm going crazy.
I don't know. Maybe they just, they just bang on about things a lot, so it feels a lot longer.
Yeah, they do have a little whinge about. I say a little whinge. They have a massive whinge about everything.
Yeah, there's no way giving an expected return. To be honest with you.
No. Oof.
No, nothing here says anything about a return. It just says Gabriel shares rehab update after signing a new Arsenal contract. But he's just in the gym working out.
That's where the fuckers always just take a picture of themselves on a watt bike, don't they?
Yeah. He's literally just doing squats in a gym. He's posted a couple of them on Instagram, and that's his injury update.
Back to the grind.
Yeah, few emojis.
Yeah.
Come back stronger. Come back stronger.
Sweat is just pain leaving the body.
That's actually dumb. Oh, fabulous. I love that one. Right, another one who I think is massively overpriced. There's talk of Semenyo. Newcastle has previously been linked, but I don't think we'll go anywhere near him for the price that's been mentioned. Tottenham are now linked, and it says they're looking to potentially pay £70 million for Anton Semenyo, which to me is ludicrous. If that goes through and everybody's happy to pay that amount of money for him, then football's gone crazy. Because I just can't see it. I can't see anywhere near 70. Like, surely 40, 45 is the maximum you pay for an Anton Semenyo.
Yeah, like he's had a good year, but again, when you go for that sort of money, the expectation changes. And is he going to have another season like he had this year? I mean, he was great at the start, but it kind of fizzled out a bit like Bournemouth did towards the end.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but Tottenham have been linked with everyone since they've got Frank through the door. Like they've even been heavily linked with Kudus. Obviously, Levy's put in a Levy bid, knowing that it'll be rejected. I reckon him and West Ham owners do the same thing. They'll put in a bid, knowing that it'll get rejected. Say, "Oh, well, we put in a bid."
Yeah, we tried.
We tried.
£12 million for a £40 million player. We tried.
Yeah.
We gave it a go. Sorry, we didn't quite get it over the line, but it was a bit of an effort.
So they are going to sign one of them too, then, aren't they?
It looks like Tottenham are definitely looking for a right-sided midfielder. So winger.
Semenyo plays on the left, doesn't he?
He does a bit of both. I think the majority of the time he played on the right. It would have been.
Oh, fair enough.
Who's the fella that played left quite a lot? Because you had Kluivert through the middle. You
Brooks.
also had Tavernier that didn't play loads. Brooks only played a bit part.
Both Ghanaian as well. Have they just got some like little fucking egg cloning facility? They're just bringing out tricky right-sided wingers.
There must be someone who was Ghanaian who was like a right-sided attacking player that like kids of a similar age just fell in love with and wanted to be that player. And they're they're now like producing.
Well, like, so, yeah, but usually you call the nerds like centre backs. Like a left winger is quite cool, but that's the Garner's nerds is a left winger.
Potentially so, I'd say. I'm trying to think who it might be. It might be like a Jordan Ayew.
I can understand Andre Ayew, but not. I'm flicking through my Football Manager Championship Manager brain, and all I can think of is Stephen Appiah.
So then, Bournemouth are going to have some
players.
serious cash in the bank, then, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's mad, like, watching the Club World Cup before the Real Madrid game, like they're talking about that house that pronounce it Housen?
Yeah.
From Housen, I think it is.
Yeah, Real Madrid have signed him, and you just think Bournemouth selling players to Real Madrid, like it fucking breaks my heart. Like just to see how fast they've risen to that stage in the Premier League, and
that's
it's not a shock, is it? But not like, oh my god, Real Madrid signed someone from Bournemouth. It's like, right, okay.
Yeah. It was a shock that they managed to sign him from Juventus, though. I think anybody who knew anything about Housen was like, how?
Yeah, he's absolutely quality.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to buy an awful lot. It don't matter how much money they've got to buy a lot of positions and fit them all in straight away. Like left backs go in, 2 centre halves.
Yeah.
Well, one's gone. The other one's strongly linked with PSG, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
Barney or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's all right having money, but you need to go out and.
But you're never going to get the next 4 transfers that right.
No.
It's impossible. You're never going to get the next 4. You're not going to replace those next 4, no matter how well you smash the scouting. It's just not possible, is it? No club can. Well, obviously, other than the asterisk that is Brighton next to it, but I mean, no club is going to get all. It's just impossible, isn't it, to sign players that they could realistically get for the amount of money for. You can't go 4 out of 4, can you?
No, it's like, especially when you have to as well. Say you lose 4 or 5 first-team players that you have to fill the void of. It's very rare that a club will ever get that bang on, because it's desperation times, really. If you've lost half your starting 11.
Oh, and Kepa's gone back. Yeah, and Kepa's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's massive, because they could lose both centre backs.
5 of their starting 11.
Yeah, both left backs. I mean, both centre backs, left back, goalkeeper. So that's 4 of their back 5 gone. Semenyo. There was talk about Kluivert potentially going as well. So bonkers if that does happen to them, and they're in for a massive struggle next season, regardless of what they do, I think.
Wouldn't surprise me if Kluivert did go somewhere, to be fair.
Yeah, because I would say he's come off a better season than Semenyo. He's looked their main attacking force. As much as Semenyo had a few sort of standout moments, Kluivert was more consistently the better player, I thought.
Yep, and I feel he always done his best work through the middle, which is ultimately harder.
Yes, and there's a lot of teams now looking for number 10s. Whether it be in the 2-pronged 10 that Man United and Frank play with, or Wolves do it as well.
Why aren't United linked to any of these players? Like this high and mighty attitude that they think, we need to sign it from other places. They just never seem to be linked to players like that, do they?
No, it's weird. It's weird. And I think Kluivert would be an excellent signing for them.
He would be an excellent signing for
them. Kluivert and Cunha behind whoever their striker is going to be would be pretty decent, to be fair. Fair enough, they're not like proven European players, but they're ones that are potentially going to get there and have got very high ceilings, I think.
And, won't be concerned about no Europa League or Champions League.
No, 100%. They'll be coming in and be like, if we can be part of the team that brings Man United from what is essentially the pits at the minute back into somewhere near where they were. A lot of players who haven't quite hit that level yet will be looking at that, I think. But interesting to see. hopefully the transfers start ramping up after we hit the 30th of June, new financial year and all that. We could see a few start flying through, but we shall see. Let's roll into under 21 European Championships. I've watched quite a few of these games, to be fair. The level's been decent. England all of a sudden kicked into gear and look a very good side. I was really impressed with Denmark up until about 10 minutes from the end of the game against France today.
Yeah.
They've been good. I've been keeping an eye on them because our boy Willisuda plays up front for them. Portugal looked a good side, even though they got knocked out. There's been quite a few decent looking sides, and at the minute we've got Germany drawing 1-0 with Italy, and Italy have just gone down to 10 men. So we've nearly got a full complement of semi-finalists, but I know Stocky said he hasn't seen much. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of it, to be honest with you. Thought France have got a seriously cocky swagger about themselves. I think the co-commentator in the France-Denmark game, and it cut to the manager, he went, well, I can tell you that's definitely the manager of France because he's bald, probably pulling his hair out watching this team while they're not winning 5-0. Like, that's quite the comment. But yeah, they look good. Thought England played great. Loved a little kick-off at the end. Love to see that. Because all the talk was then Spain were going to steamroll them. So yeah, it's been very good quality. Denmark are very good. I actually watched some of the Denmark under-19s because I think they're in England's group as well. Maybe not. No, they're not. No, that's Norway. My Norwegian friend will kill me for that, so apologies. They look really good. Really good. I don't want to sound negative, right? But I still watch quite a lot of the other teams, and they do look better than England.
Yeah.
As a team, they do seem to play a better style, and I think you players like Harvey Elliott. No offense to him, but is he going to be a world class leading player? He's just not. He's just a very good player for that team. I'd be interested to know what the average ages are, because that is always very important. The average ages of the teams, because it feels like England's must be really quite high.
Yeah, England's will be 21, 22, 100%.
Yeah.
They've got a couple that were at the last tournament when they won it. I'm sure there's at least 2 or 3 that were there at that last tournament.
Which is, is very impressive. It's a testament to them. It's I certainly don't want to dumb it down. It's impressive, but I don't watch this. Would I prefer to see a younger team playing in a more cohesive, fun style? Yeah, I mean, who cares if you win the under-21s if you know, sort of hand on heart, that the bulk of this team are not going to be getting into the England squad or making changes to it. Shaking it up. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. It's obviously a positive, so clearly it's a positive, but.
But don't you think that potentially UEFA have got this a little bit wrong? Because if the England youth sides are looking at it that they want to be competitive in both tournaments, they don't really want the England under-21s taking players that can pay for the 19s.
Because why do we care about that?
Just go and get humped. Because it's good to progress going far in tournaments as a youth player, like getting used to going deep into competitions, so that when you do get potentially into the first team, it's not like a brand new thing that you've just been getting slapped up in the group stage every time, and then you're then expected to go deep into an international tournament as a senior.
No, I certainly, as I said, I don't want to make it into a negative thing. It's obviously quite impressive, but I watched that England under-21s team and think you probably should be winning. Like you should, you should. It'd be quite embarrassing if you don't win. I mean, put it this way: they lost to Germany under-21s B team in the final group game, and Germany changed all 11 players, and they still lost. Now England did look the better team and were definitely unlucky, but Germany's B team were extremely young and was their B team. There was a few players missing from England, but nowhere near the number of first 11, and they lost. But Germany looked like they could kind of handle what they were doing. So I just don't think you need to read too much into it, to be honest with you. I think that's why when they won the under-17s World Cup, that was a bit more interesting. I think the under-17s and the under-19s is more exciting than the 21s to me. As I say, on the basis that I was looking at that England team, like, yeah, you should be winning this. You all look older and are more established than the other teams. They look, they physically. I was literally looking at the players and going, "You look younger," like without having to go on Wikipedia. Without having, like you just look younger. I think it's more exciting to win like the under-17s or potentially the under-19s as well. To be honest with you, I think under-21s is just a bit of a fugazi.
Yeah, because when you look at the England under-21 side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these players have played massive minutes in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Hinchelwood, well, Quanta's not massive, but he's played minutes. Livramento, Alex Scott, Harvey Elliott, James McAtee, Amari Hutchinson. Not sure, but Tyler Morton wouldn't have done because he's at Liverpool. But they've all played decent minutes in the Premier League this season. And then you've got Jay Stansfield, who's just had a great season in League One. Cresswell, who I believe plays in France.
Yeah, for Toulouse. Yeah.
There you go. James Beadle, who's now on loan at Bolton. Is that the guy you've just loaned?
Who, sorry?
The goalie, James Beadle. Is that not the guy you've just
No,
loaned?
we were saying Teddy Sharman, someone or other.
Oh, okay, fair enough. James Beadle's then at Brighton then, from looking at this. And then the only other player in this, that's it. That's the starting 11 from yesterday. So it's a very established starting 11. So yeah, like you say, they probably will look a bit physically stronger because they were playing proper men's football at good standards, where some of the others potentially aren't.
And also, I'd say in England, it's I think if anyone's really that stand out, they skip the 19s and the 21s and they go straight to England, the first team, didn't they?
Which I'm not offended by.
Yeah, but that happens across the board, though, doesn't it? Like, you see your Mals and your Pedris and people like that. They were in the senior team long before they were ineligible for the under-21s. Well, like the Mal can still play for the under-17s, for God's sake.
Yeah. But like Joe Bellingham, it was meant to be a big moment for him in this tournament, but then he signed for Borussia Dortmund. Like, it's just mad, isn't it?
Signed for Dortmund, scoring against our boys at the Club World Cup, the little rascal. I was going to say something else there.
I noticed that.
We'll save that for later. Right, let's do some predictions then. Because we skirted over it last week. We didn't really nail any colours to the mask. And we are, this week, going to go for it and do predictions. I feel, wow, Italy are down to 9 and Germany are 2-1 up. When did that happen? Anyway, I feel that we are potentially going to see an England-Germany final. That's what it just feels like to me now. It seems like it's written in the stars. I don't know what's going to happen from there. I'm going to go England to win the whole thing, to be fair. Just because they seem to starting to motor.
You got to imagine as well, people like McAtee must be thinking, I need to be stamping my authority on tournaments like this if I've got any chance to have you got any chance?
Well, the two games that I've watched the majority of, as much as McAtee wasn't like class in the first one, you could see he was like probably the best player on the pitch every time he got it. The whole game was just slowed down around him, and I thought he was pretty special against Spain as well, to be honest. So I feel like he's having a very good tournament so far. Hopefully, he continues that on into Wednesday, I believe it is the semi-final. We can knock out
Yeah.
the Netherlands and on to the final. Whoever wins out of France and Germany, who are just about to go through.
Are we going for the stereotypical France are so good they're going to shoot themselves in the foot sort of thing?
They've
They
been,
look that cocky.
they've been attempting to the whole tournament and still winning. So,
Yeah, they'll come up against the ruthless German efficiency, and
yeah.
that could potentially be their downfall there.
I mean, that's a hell of a Final Four, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
like just textbook Final Four. Like
Academies,
either,
youth team academies. You'd like to think that that's yeah up there.
Yeah,
big,
if you
big spending
if you
leagues.
had to pick 5 countries that have always produced very decent young players, you'd say them 4 and Spain are the ones that are always producing decent young talent. So yeah, it's good to see. To be fair, very good to see. As much as I would have loved to have seen Denmark get through, just because it's
Right. I've had to scratch the itch and Google it. The England under-21 squad average age as of the group stages was 21.8 years. So I mean that's 0.8 over the age is meant to be. Now we understand the reasons for it. What I'm saying is like you really can't read anything into that, can you? The average age is 21.8.
You do realise that now you've googled England, we kind of need to know the others for reference.
Okay, you crack on. I'll be the stats man. Don't you worry about it.
Right. Thanks for doing the maths in that it's 0.8 of a year older as well. I wouldn't have got that.
Well, as I said, I'm the stats guy, so that's fine.
Oh, well, I will retract what I said earlier that it's going to be Germany going through because Italy have just scored a lovely free kick to make it 2-2, even though they're down to 9 men. So that game's going to extra time.
The ruthless German
Nice.
efficiency lasted, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
To be fair, we are all very good at cursing whatever we talk about at the time, to be fair. We're fabulous at it. So,
Yeah.
But imagine being a 21-year-old and that experience must be incredible. Or if it's an England player, imagine being a 43-year-old. But yeah,
imagine being that to 9 men going to extra time. Fuck that.
that is bonkers. Yeah, they're like, yes, we've made it. Oh, damn, we've now got to run for another half hour.
What I will also say, it's spelt differently but pronounced the same, that Germany's striker, Nelson Viper, is a truly superb name, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's
brought him on, and I was just like, they're bringing on Nelson Viper, and I was like, well, that's a fucking cool name.
Yeah, that's like a WWE name.
Well, I know he looks a bit, looks a bit diehard, criminal boss. But he's actually scored in this game.
I'm gonna have to see what this dude looks like now. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he very much is. Yeah.
He's got that vibe.
He definitely has. He 100% could have either been in Die Hard or Taken.
Mm.
He's got that look about him. So what I was going to ask before we move on to anything else, and while Jack's figuring out average ages of the other squads that are still in it, what is this? If Carsley goes and wins it, what does this mean for Lee Carsley? Because he would have won. That's back-to-back tournaments, is it not?
Yeah.
Like for any manager to go and win back-to-back tournaments, I know it's the under-21s, but that's pretty special.
I don't know. It's very different to club management, and maybe he just enjoys developing the players, getting them ready well, potentially getting them ready for the next level. I think, as Jack mentioned earlier on, how many of them you see actually breaking into the squad, you don't know. Probably very few, but he's quite good at it. And if he enjoys it, why would you go into club management? I mean, surely the FA would want to try and keep him. If someone's doing good work at the under 21s,
Yeah.
obviously you might have an ambition to go into club management, but
Yeah, I get that. But even if he didn't have an ambition to go into club management, what does he gain for going again? Like, he's won 2 tournaments back to back.
yeah,
He gains nothing going into the next tournament. There's nowhere else he can go. He could not better what he's done. So it seems like it would be a natural thing just to be like, okay, cool, I've completed under 21 football. I need to, well, England under 21 management. I should be looking at something else.
you might go to a different home nation.
Well, he was a shoo-in for the England group, wasn't he? But that Greece game killed him.
Yeah. That Greece game, which I think did Tuchel loads and loads of favours. At the time, I thought it was a stroke of genius for him if he knew that he was getting the job, because what he did was what all of the pundits and all of the fans were asking for: play all of the attacking players at the same time, and it didn't work. And he did it in a game that was irrelevant. It might have cost him getting the job, but that now means Tuchel can reference that and go, look, we've seen it. We've already seen it doesn't work. It was tried. It doesn't work. I thought it was an absolute stroke of genius either way.
Very 2004 vibes from it.
Yes. 100%.
Which also famously didn't fucking work.
Yeah, it's literally never worked. Never, ever worked.
Well, it seems to for everyone but us.
Yeah, but the thing is, with everybody else, their best players seem to be spread. Whereas we'll have like 8 centre midfielders.
Well, apart from Ghana.
Play at the same time. Yeah. Can't have got 9 left wingers, right wingers.
So Statsman here, with his tail very much between his legs, starting to realise as well. I assume what separates true stats people and me calling myself the Statsman temporarily would be that they would research the stats prior to providing them.
Yeah.
It suddenly turns out, of all the things to actually not do that on stats is really quite bad. One of the best teams I've seen in the 21s, I say, is Denmark. They have the youngest squad, so straight off the bat, I was instantly sweating. In Netherlands is older than England's. Italy's is older than England's. France's is 0.6. 0.2, which is 0.2 of a year. About 3 months younger. Germany's is bang on the same, and Spain's is actually older. So yeah,
England's young guns. We revert back to time.
Yeah. So Spain's is 22.2. That's
and they still got a whooping.
Yeah, but also one final fun fact for you: that Yugoslavia won the 1978 tournament, spearheaded by a 26-year-old striker who scored 4 times in a 2-legged final with East Germany, including a second leg hat trick, and was named player of the tournament. Well, obviously no shit there, but named player of the tournament. So, don't know how that 26-year-old in, but
it's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah. So actually,
wasn't James Milner, was it?
No, well, they were. Mate, do you know how many caps is actually? Oh, fucking hell! Maybe I should stop that. He has a very large number of caps.
Who does James?
I'm sure it's over 40.
What, for the under 21s?
Yeah.
Right. I always remember Mark Noble had loads as well. Like, he was into the 30s, I think, for the under 21s.
Yeah, 40 seems pretty high. I'm sure they said it was 43. 46. 46 under 21. Because they were joking about it in the game, saying no one is ever going to beat that record.
Apart from the geezer that was 26.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You got to think he made his debut with Leeds. Was he like 15, 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, he's just signed a new contract, hasn't he? So I think won't he be close to breaking the all-time appearances record now?
What, Premier League?
Yeah, I'm sure
He
he's
must
got
be getting there about.
he's got a chance of beating it now.
He's got to be there or thereabouts.
He can't be far off being the oldest player because I think Sheringham was the oldest outfield player, weren't he?
So Milner is 15 away from Gareth Barry on appearances.
1-5.
1-5, yeah. 1-5, yeah.
So yeah, he could do that then, couldn't he?
Unless he gets injured, he'll probably get it this year.
I'm surprised he didn't sign for Leeds, to be honest. I suppose maybe they just didn't want him, but I thought he might have sort of nice full circle-ish type moment.
Potentially, you never know. If they stay up, that might be a following season type of deal. But it'd be interesting to see. I think
just retire, bro. You get the appearances. Just you've got enough dough. You surely must want to just chill. Especially in training with all them Brighton fucking youth regens, you just be like, yeah. To be fair, of all the clubs to be at and leave training and drive home and go, I'm starting to feel my age here. Brighton must be fucking awful with all them like wonder kids, and you be like, wow,
17-year-old Ecuadorian just running you ragged every time.
Yeah. I've got more under 21s England caps than you've got first team appearances.
To be fair, no one's actually got anywhere near. Like Nathan Chalobah is second on appearances with 40. Then Nathan Redmond, I say Nathaniel Chalobah even. Nathan Redmond, Tom Huddleston, Fabrice Mavamba, James Ward-Prowse. The next one's on the list, which is crazy. I always thought Shola Ramiobi had loads. He seemed to play for them for years. But I must be wrong with that. He's miles away from being the oldest player used in the Premier League, though, James Milner. Like, literally 4 years away.
How old is he?
Milner is, I think he's 39, James Milner. So even this season, he wasn't the oldest player. Ashley Young and Lucas Fabianski were the oldest two players this season. And Ashley Young's 39.
He's not retired, though, is he? Ashley Young?
I think he has just retired, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Is he?
I don't know. I'm sure I saw something that he retired, but the oldest player used is 43 years old. John Burridge, goalkeeper. Yeah, Alec Chamberlain, Steve Agronovich, Brad Friedel, Mark Sforza, Southall, Kevin Paul, Jens Lehmann. So the oldest outfield player is Teddy Sheringham at 40 years and 8 months.
Mm.
And then the rest of the world, and them are all keepers, so that kind of fits.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
Yeah. So right, now that we've discovered that England are the second youngest team left in the tournament, who do we believe is going to win it? I'm still sticking with England. The England, the youthful legs of the team are going to pull them through, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it'll be England.
Yeah, clean sweep.
Yeah,
and we can all laugh at each other next week.
Yeah, we can, yeah. When England are out.
However, if Italy somehow get through this,
they're going to be
you've
busted.
got to imagine they're thinking that they're made of absolute Teflon.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They'll think they're invincible if they somehow get through this.
Jeez, they should get them into the first team because Italy's first team are stinking it out at the minute.
How have they won a Euros between not qualifying for 2 World Cups, by the way?
Southgate.
Yeah.
Anyway, bit of Gattuso now. That'd be interesting. They've got to make the World Cup because I want to see Gattuso bloody going nuts.
Mm.
Crazy.
That heat of the World Cup, it's going to be like a little mini volcano.
Yeah. Right. Let's roll on to the Club World Cup. We'll go through each group. Again, we're going to do predictions. This is where Group A lies at the minute, which is Palmeiras, Inter Miami, Porto, Al Ali. Inter Miami and Palmeiras play each other. So there's the potential for one of them to drop out unless they do a gentleman's handshake and play for a draw.
But they're not going to do that, are they? Because of the Messi aspect.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, they might do that because of the Messi aspect.
Well, Brazilians
If they go
famously.
to Palmeiras and say, look, just draw this game 0-0. Messi has to go through. Let's not do anything silly now, please.
Well, what they could both save each other's legs. Just have a little stroll up.
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, Inter Miami beating Porto was a bit of a surprise.
It was, yes. It was a definite surprise. But it looked like Porto had the game under control and then their legs fell off.
Yeah.
Here's a little interesting stat. I think since like 2018, Messi scored more free kicks than he has penalties. He's like scored 30 odd free kicks and he scored more free kicks than penalties.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is daft.
He
really should pay attention more to
players
penalties.
ever, he's pretty crap at penalties, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
But really good at free kicks, which is ultimately harder.
Yeah, agreed.
Funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah, strange sometimes. But I think this is quite an interesting last group game because I feel that Porto could go out and try and take Al Ali apart.
Yeah.
To try and get themselves through in the hope that one of the other two lose.
Definitely. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame they're both being played at the same time. It'd be interesting. There's going to be proper old school vibes of people listening to the radio, like the coaching staff listening.
Yeah.
Check the other score.
Second though, hold on a second, right? If Porto beat Al Ali and Palmeiras draw or win, because of the head-to-head, Porto would still go out.
Is it head-to-head or goal difference first?
Yeah, I can't remember what the order goes for this tournament.
Head-to-head.
Oh, so it's head-to-head before goal difference?
Yeah.
Oh. So Inter Miami have to win for Porto to go through, really?
Yeah.
Or El Ali have to win for Inter Miami to go out?
Oh, this is actually that's
they
more
not?
interesting.
Yeah, so if El Ali win and Palmeiras win, so if Palmeiras win by 1, Inter Miami are down to 0, and Al Ali then have to win by 2. So there needs to be a 2-goal swing somewhere, 3-goal swing somehow. But then that would leave them level on head-to-head because they drew. And it could potentially go down to something bonkers like goals scored if they've got the same goal difference, or I don't know, yellow cards or something silly like that. They'll figure out a way of sending Inter Miami through after that, I think, somehow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very, very unlikely that is not just. Even if we factor in that both teams should just be passing it around the back of the pitch, yeah, that seems like it's done, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, looking at it, I can't see anything other than them two going through. If it was
I actually think this is the first time, well, not the first time. I assume it's quite rare that I think that group will end like it says on the screen right now.
So, going off me knowing you for quite a while now, Jack, this group is not going to end how it looks on the screen right now.
No, congratulations, congratulations, Al Ali, on your incredible, statistically impossible and mathematically impossible group winning performance.
Yeah, I actually now thinking about all of what we've just gone through, I can't see how it doesn't finish how it is, because if it's head to head, I reckon Palmeiras win is the most likely thing in that game, and if they draw, they're both through anyway.
Well, surely they're not going to start Messi. That would be dumb, right?
Maybe not, but
because Al Ali aren't going to beat, obviously, joke aside, they're not going to beat Porto by 3 goals. It's just it's extremely, extremely, extremely unlikely to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even then, Miami would have to lose for them not
Miami
to go
would have
through.
to lose, and Al Ali. If Miami lose by one, if
Oh,
Inter
then
Miami lose by one, Al Ali have to win by 2. But then it will go down to goals scored or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they'll be level on goal difference then.
Yeah, I think it ends like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Palmeiras 7, Inter Miami and Porto 4, and yeah, the actual standing.
It's a massive loss then to Porto, isn't it? It's a huge loss that they had.
Yeah, that Messi free kicks, the goal drop has knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame it wasn't a penalty because he might have missed it. Right, are we all in agreement? Palmeiras.
I don't think if we want to grow a pod, it's best to slander Messi. So I'm just going to apologise for James's comment there, and obviously it was meant tongue in cheek. I'm going to apologise to Messi. Fuck Ronaldo, though.
Yeah.
Not the Brazilian one, just to clarify. Jesus Christ, not him. Yeah.
Not the one that you sent a fake picture of in the group a few weeks back.
What are you talking about?
It definitely weren't him.
Right, we've all agreed. Well, Stocky hasn't, but I'm believing he's
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
where the group finishes as it is.
Yeah.
Right, now this is very interesting, and this is at a time where we're actually going to be awake because Group A finishes at 2 a.m. Both them games kick off at 2 a.m. Tuesday morning for us. These games kick off at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, which is Monday the 23rd for anybody who isn't sure when we're recording this. But very, very interesting. Botafogo are top of the group and have to play Atletico Madrid. And Paris Saint-Germain and Atletico are on 3 points each, with PSG to play Seattle Sounders, who are sat at the bottom on 0.
Who they will beat.
Points.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle are fucking awful.
Yes, they 100% will win that game.
Seriously stinky.
So the question is, can Botafogo not lose to Atletico Madrid? Because if it is on head-to-head, if Atletico Madrid win, they're through.
I definitely think they can. Like they're the Brazilian champions and Libertadores champions, and they're not like one of the bigger sides even in Brazil, let alone South America. So they clearly thrive on somewhat of an underdog status, kind of much the same as Atletico do, because they still have an underdog vibe about them, even though they spend ridiculous amounts of money in wages. They always still seem to have this plucky underdog thing about them when they're absolutely not. I don't know if it's still the case, but like Simeone was like the highest paid manager in the world within a couple of years.
I actually think that's Arteta now, that club manager.
Really?
Club manager wise, I think it is, which is odd to me, but I might be wrong. Someone will prove me wrong very quickly.
Nah, surely someone in Saudi's gonna be the top, like Simone Inzaghi. Nah, surely.
Potentially, yeah. I don't think it's close. I think the international managers have got more. I think someone like.
Well, imagine if Botafogo lose by a goal, and obviously, as we know, Seattle are going to get pounded. So the top 3 are going to finish on 6 points, and Atletico Madrid are going to go. If they win 1-0, Atletico Madrid would go through in second on 6 points with -2 goal difference. -1, sorry, -1. And Botafogo would be +1, 6 points. That is a ruthless fucking way to go out of the group.
Yeah.
Why would you do it on a head-to-head though? Like, it makes me want to take it less seriously that they don't do it on goal difference. Because what is the point of goal difference if it's not next in line after points?
Loads of places, loads of competitions are doing it on head-to-head these days.
Yeah,
I think it's mad.
Bullshit, because goal difference is literally on the league table. Head-to-head isn't listed on the league table, so why would you reference that?
It's
Yeah.
because it's after only two games that it's unlikely you need to start splitting people, and if you go to head, you'd think one's above the other, isn't it? So it's only really on the 90, once the whistle goes in the third game that it then gets rejigged to head, which is daft. But yeah, I mean that's a brutal way to go out of a league to come finish third, level on points with second with potentially a positive goal difference and theirs is negative. That's brutal.
I desperately hope they do get through because, for me personally, it's the South American teams that are making this competition interesting for me.
Well, why wouldn't they get through? I don't know. To be fair, it's only my somewhat innate European-centric view, but why wouldn't they go through? They are top of the league.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And have beaten
they've
PSG.
already beat PSG, yeah. So why can't
Yeah.
they beat
Yeah,
Atletico, who PSG took to pieces?
battered. Yeah, be interesting. I know which game I'll be watching out of the two.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, if I was a Seattle fan, I'd be watching it, but from behind the fucking sofa. Put it that way.
Just to reiterate what we were speaking about a minute ago, Diego Simeone is actually the highest paid manager in football. Then it is Inzaghi, and then it's Pep, and then it's Arteta. And so I was wrong, but not by much. Weirdly, David Moyes is in sixth. Just for anybody that cared.
Probably
What?
still getting paid by United. That's why.
And West Ham.
Yeah.
No, his contract expired. He's about the only person we don't owe money for.
Oh no, you didn't actually have to sack him. You just didn't renew his contract.
Yeah.
Decent.
Pretty rare, isn't it?
Mm.
In fact, very rare for
That
managers.
is very,
What a
very rare.
ridiculous mistake that was. Moving on.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I actually like Atletico because, like you said, Stocky, they play with this ridiculous chip on the shoulder, and you're like, no, guys, you're actually really quite good, and like people enjoy watching you, and also you've got an amazing stadium, and so, well, keep playing with the chip if you want. I think Botafogo will go through, and I think that game could turn into a bit of a bloodbath. It's brutal, really, if Botafogo starting that game with that head-to-head. Top of the league, 6. I mean, I know that's the nature of a group, but like it's felt quite well, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they go and they don't lose. So I think they go through. Botafogo go through. I actually think they win. I think they go through with 3 wins from 3, and then PSG absolutely annihilate Seattle Sounders, and they're the 2 that go through.
Do you reckon if PSG really fancy it, do you reckon they could challenge Bayern's 10?
No, Seattle
No?
Sounders are bad, but they're not semi-pro bad.
I don't know. You'd think semi-pro side would get beat more than the 10.
Yeah, but they've been beat 10 and 7 so far. I don't think PSG.
Yeah.
I actually don't think PSG go out to do that. I think they go out to win the game and then make a load of changes and
Save some legs.
cruise through the rest of the games. I don't think they go full out for stuff like that.
Yeah, I want them to score 10. I'm a bit of a hater of Seattle, to be honest. Now,
It's not like you, Jack.
yeah, no, I
You're
really.
such a cheerful guy.
I mean, just fuck it. What would be exciting though, that if Seattle did actually beat PSG and Botafogo won, then Seattle would not go through. So, oh god, this group, it's actually really quite hard. This we need a new stats guy.
Yeah.
Well, World Cups don't get this difficult, do they?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, so if that does happen, if Botafogo win and Seattle win somehow,
then
Atletico go through.
Atletico go through, yeah,
But
because
how? Because PSG beat Atletico, so their head-to-head's better than them. But then, yeah, so PSG still go through.
oh yeah, so PSG would go.
Yeah, PSG go through on a head-to-head against Atletico, but they haven't beat Seattle Sounders. So then, who goes through?
Then it'd go down to all the goals, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they'd have to do something different because Seattle should be above PSG. Atletico should be PSG should
Above
be above
Seattle.
Atletico, and Atletico should be above Seattle. So it's just like that Spider-Man meme, innit, where they're all just pointing at each other, going, "Well, hell do we do here?
Well, Seattle would go through because Seattle would have to go with PSG because they've beaten them and they're level
they
on
haven't beat
points.
Atletico.
Yeah, but Atletico would have a worse goal difference, wouldn't they? They'd have to because Seattle, for them to win, would have to at least go to minus 2. Atletico would have to be on minimum -3. So Seattle would go above them. Wait,
Stats
no,
No, because
they wouldn't.
head to head. If they're going by head to head, yeah,
Yes, head to head.
it's head to head first. So they would have to pick something else random. They can't use head to head at all.
Maybe it's them halfway line penalties. Go back.
Oh,
That
God,
would
that'd
be
great.
glorious.
Well, I'll tell you right now, mate, there's no way Seattle would get through that.
No, because surely it would be PSG that go through, because they would just have to go to goal difference. And head to head would completely go out the window. Because there's no way of splitting them on head to head, is there?
No, yeah, you're right. I think so. PSG would still go through, unless Seattle somehow beat them 3-0.
Yeah.
Wait, no, because then it'd be level goal difference. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. Let's just stick with Botafogo.
No, it'd be level goal difference, but then they would switch it round. I reckon they would do goal difference to knock out Atletico Madrid, and then Seattle would go through on a head-to-head against PSG.
Yeah.
Which would be bonkers.
My God, I can't remember what Group C is, but I hope it's fucking easier than this.
Yeah, permutations in this group are giving me palpitations.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my initial point of the group will end looking like this as well. Botafogo top, PSG second, Atletico third, Seattle fourth.
Easy for you to say. So, right, are we all in agreement again? The group stays the same.
Yep.
Same orders. Cool. Right.
They've actually got a fantasy football for this tournament as well.
Yeah, you get to play for your outstanding player of the game.
No, superior.
Sorry, yeah. I think as well, if you came off the pitch though, it's kind of like it's a bit wet. But then if you're in the changing rooms, you'd be like, "I'm the superior player."
Oh yeah, you'd be messaging all your mates, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but that is such a shit. Like, what do you call it when you turn the words into just letters? I can't think of what it's called. It's
acronyms.
Acronym. Yeah, that's such a shit acronym, isn't it?
Wait, do we need a grammar guy and a stats guy?
You just do it all, Jack.
Yeah. Well, give me them glasses back, and I'll yeah.
Superior player of the game. Yeah, that's horrendous. I'm not even. Let's slide over that and move to Group C. Which?
Speaking of weird things in this tournament,
yes.
Have you seen the thing where if a goalkeeper holds on to it too long, the other side get a corner?
Yes, love it.
Oh God, I am so desperate for
that's coming in across the board, by the way.
Yeah, for a team to score from that corner. Because could you imagine, like, the gaffer that's just conceded that goal? They're gonna go fucking code red, nuclear war. Oh my God, I just want to see it.
Do you know what will be the best thing? Yeah, the best thing for football and for us and for banter and for hilarity is that the first time it happens, it happens to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And they're timing it, and it's 7.9 seconds.
Yeah, he's actually
5.7. Yeah, perfect. Just but the one thing I will say about that, right, is that it was very much like, you remember the first, was it season before last when they did the added time thing?
Yeah.
But then they patched that off, didn't they? After 3 games, 4 games.
Remember when
they will have to say to the referees, either you do it when you really think someone's taking the piss, or everyone does it across the fucking board.
Yeah.
Because it won't be fair if you have some referees that are more lenient to it. It's just not fair, and that's what happened with that whole timekeeping thing, didn't they? And then they just scrapped it because they were like, plus 11 in the first half was daft. Yeah. So I think it's a good rule. I think 8 seconds isn't very long though.
I'm hoping that it is actually done how it used to be when they used to enforce the 6 second rule. So the count used to be from when the box was cleared of
Yeah.
attacking
So that would
players.
be fair.
So the attacking, like the opposite team from the goalie that has the ball in their hands, as soon as they had cleared the box, the count started.
Mm.
So if they do it the same way as that, I think that would work.
I've only seen it happen once though in the tournament.
Yeah, same here. I was desperate for it to go in.
Um,
Oh, it's got to happen to us. It has to. We have to manifest that. I'm going to keep saying it out loud in the hope that it happens.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll have to read up on the law once the season gets close to see if they do put it in and how it's worded. Right, this group does look a little bit more straightforward. Apart
no,
from
it's
the
not
fact
though, mate.
that
It's
Boca
not.
Juniors are going to
It's-
slap Auckland City,
Yeah,
Bayern Munich could potentially beat Benfica,
yeah.
which then means, but that just means Benfica go through, no?
No,
No, they drew.
we drew.
Boca and Benfica drew 2-2.
Fucking hell.
So
But-
Boca will really want to slap some goals in to bring the
Yeah.
goal difference up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Boca now need to score 6.
Well, they need to be.
Win
Yeah,
by 6.
yeah.
No, 7. Because if they win by 6 and Benfica only lose by 1, that's level, isn't it? So they need to score 7. Win by 7 clear goals to make sure.
Which isn't the. If it was any other scenario than Auckland City, you'd be like, I mean, yeah, it's a tough ask. Now it's like, well, yeah, not the toughest.
Yeah. So it is literally down to bettering Benfica's goals scored.
Well, if Bayern beat them, yeah, but Bayern might rest players. Why would they not?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Could do.
Yeah, interesting one. I really want Boca to go through. They've been like excellent. There was like a video game round of their like supporters chanting whilst on roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah, mad Brazilians. You've got to love it.
Apparently, when they were doing that, River Plate still sort of done the classic football fan 2 fingers up by chartering a plane to go. We still done you in Madrid in 2018.
Mm.
These 2 have to stay in it. If FIFA are going to rig anything, they have to get them to have a game in the knockout stages.
Yeah. Is it totally random, the knockout stages?
No.
Nah, it would be first
No.
3 runners up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that I would suggest Bayern probably will rest players, so that probably means Benfica go through. I mean, Benfica aren't terrible anyway, are they? So even if Bayern did go full strength, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if Benfica got a draw, would it? But
No. So the way it works out is the 2 groups next to each other. So A and B, first plays second, both ways round, on opposite sides of the draw, and then the same going through. So C and D, first place second, opposite sides of the draw. E and F and G and H.
yeah, I think this is sadly a simple one. This, whilst it'd be exciting for Boca to try and score as many as they can, I think Bayern and Benfica were the ones that go through.
Nope. I'm gonna use
Bayern and Boca.
Yeah, I'm going Bayern and Boca too. I desperately want them to go through.
At least we're not going. Wait, hold on a second. What if Auckland beat? No, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. So the winner of this group will play second place out of Los Angeles, Chelsea, and Esperance, because Flamengo, I believe, have already won that group. Anyway, that's the next group, so we can get into that. Which is not right. Yeah, because Flamengo have beat Esperance and
Chelsea.
so they're through as group winners.
So that's why they said before that LAFC are already out.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out how that was possible, but now that makes more sense.
Yeah, because they've lost to Chelsea and Esperance already, so they can't get through.
So Flamengo have won the group, and then it's Well, you'd imagine Chelsea.
Chelsea, they play each other, didn't they?
Yeah. What? So look, whoever wins goes through.
Basically, yeah.
Well, no, Esperance have to win, don't they?
Yeah, because then Chelsea go for a goal difference if it's a draw. Germany have just scored to make it 3-2, by the way.
Oh, that must be pretty late on as well. That's pretty brutal.
118, yeah.
Oh,
Very brutal.
It's very brutal.
So,
Yeah.
oh well.
Painful one, but hey, when you're down to 9 men.
That is physically and mentally painful.
Well, Germany have had an extra 30 minutes. Their manager will be fuming, won't they?
You'll be raging that they conceded.
Yeah, he'd be absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
Right, so this looked pretty straightforward, to be fair. And
yeah, sadly. I hope Flamengo get all 9 points.
Yeah, they'll go out to get all 9 points. It's £1.4 million to win the game. Like, they're not going to pass that up against Los Angeles.
No. But that's actually a good point about that's also a good point about the Bayern thing there. So, yeah.
So, if Bayern, they're probably going to do the same thing. As much as they might rest players, they're going to look to get the extra £1.4 million. They're not going to want to drop 700 grand by drawing it.
And also, their resis are going to be decent.
Yeah, which also probably does give you the more rationale for why they would allow head-to-head, because it is a bit unfair, but on the basis that people won't really want to be resting players. So, yeah, I think this is, Flamengo first, Chelsea second. So that means that if Boca did win that game, though, then that would be Flamengo Boca, wouldn't it?
Spicy.
It 100% would, yeah. If Boca go through second of that group, they play Flamengo top of that group.
Stats,
leaves
group,
us with
grammar.
Bayern Munich, Chelsea.
Well, yeah, which we couldn't really care less about, could we? We're football perverts. We don't care about that.
You're off.
Actually, why we've now figured that out. So we said this group stays the same. So Palmeiras, Inter Miami, 1 and 2. Palmeiras then play PSG, and Botafogo play Inter Miami.
Yeah.
Would have been a little bit more interesting the other way around, but
it would. But then they've still got chances to go to sneak through again. Well, I suppose, yeah.
Because then them 2 games then end up at the opposite side of the draw.
Trust me, Boca and Flamengo, they're obviously going to want to beat each other anyway. But if you've then got a chance to get through to the semis, would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the semis, wouldn't it? No, so the semis is where...
No, it wouldn't.
Quarters, it'd be around the 16.
16 quarters, semis.
16, right, yeah. But like the quarters and semis is like 5 million and 12 million. So there will be serious pressure riding on them in them. Because that's a game you have a 50-50, roughly chance of winning, isn't it? And I know they've been doing well, but I'm saying when you start getting to levels like that.
And as predicted, the South American teams have been keen as mustard, and you'd say most of the European teams have looked somewhat leggy, like they don't like the club wants them to be there, but the players don't look like they're busting their balls, do they? So
no.
South American sides are well up for it.
A lot of incentives written into their contract, aren't they, for it? What's an extra 10 grand, 15 grand, or whatever, 20 grand to these, Chelsea players?
Yeah. So the winner to win the last 16, you get £5.7 million.
So the quarters is what, 8?
Finals, you get 10.
Yes, that's serious money.
Yeah,
serious money to your club.
And I actually think you still get the 1.4 per game as well.
Really, yeah?
I think that runs through the whole tournament.
So 10 million quid if you can win the quarterfinals is proper dough to them teams. Yeah, serious dough.
Massive money. Yeah, so we won't have doubt we'll see anybody letting up in them games at all.
No.
So are we saying that Chelsea definitely beat this Tunisian side, yeah? Esperance?
Yeah.
I think sadly, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. It won't be very good though. Oh, that Jackson tackle was horrendous.
He's such a.
You should have you can remove the word tackle from that, mate.
Yeah. Well,
It's just
yeah.
stupid, isn't it? It's pointless. What kind of
Horrible.
an idiot have you got to be? There's literally no need for it whatsoever.
He's fucking shy. He's really not good at football, and it's genuinely starting to wind me up. To be honest with you, no, it is. I just watch him and think you should not be in the position you're in. It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, actually, he should be in the position he's in, sat on the fucking bench. Right, no, on the bench, is he? Where sat in the stands? That's where he should be. That's
Why were on
actually
red
no.
cards? Did you see Thingy's one?
Yeah,
Thingy's one.
Who?
yeah. He's got a full 3-game ban as well.
Because they appealed it and they said no, so they've given 2 extra
Yeah.
games.
Mm. He sent
What's
someone
that
off.
about?
He was the same referee for the Real Madrid match.
Yeah, he sent someone off today as well.
Yeah, he
Yeah, it
sent
was
off
like last man dragged down Rondon as he was going
big
forward.
Rondon, yeah.
Yeah.
Bet he's got a cock like a beef joint, Rondon, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snip off the strings and everything before cooking.
I thought they were in a little bit of trouble, Real, at that point, because Rondon had a couple of little chances after.
They look pretty good.
1-3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching that whilst we've been doing this. They were comfortable in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Portugal actually looked good even when it was 11 versus
Yeah.
11. Looked like it could definitely cause them threats. And then they had to score then, didn't they? They had to score in that 10-minute period after the second half. And they had chances to, but they had to score then.
It's that old-fashioned one, really, that you got to take your chances when they come up, and they really didn't.
Yeah. And then Real were like, right, well, we can actually still beat you with 10. And then they had a bit of a spell, and then they scored, and then that was it, game over then, really.
You know what? The first 2 ones were really nice finishes as well from Bellingham.
The Google is fucking naughty.
Oh, that little touch off from the centre forward onto him.
Yeah.
Pristine.
Yeah. But yeah, come on to the best group.
Yes.
Cancel. But
Yeah. Yeah, River Plate. Woo!
yeah.
Stucky's favourite group, anyway. Right, so Group E. These games are getting played. What the fuck are they? Thursday morning, 2:00. Final games, you've got Inter against River Plate, Monterrey against Aurora Red Diamonds. Aurora Red Diamonds are out.
I gotta say, Inter proper shit as their win against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like two late goals.
Right, so if Monterrey
But
win
this
and
is-
put River into draw, then it's 3 teams on 5 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've drawn against the other 2 teams. Because they're playing Aurora and they've drawn 2 games. So they've drawn against River Plate and Inter. So this is another one that's just bonkers. But then that means they're out on goal difference.
It's gonna be rock, paper, scissors for this group, isn't it?
Just don't know. Whoever's got the youngest.
Yeah, it would be.
Squad
It would come down to goal difference, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and
To
they'd
be
be
honest.
out because the goal difference wouldn't change, would it? It would just stay
And
the same.
it would go down to goal difference. So if they only win by 1, then they'd be level with Inter, and it'll go to goals scored, won't it?
I think River beat Inter.
You think River? Okay, and then so Inter are going out, basically, is what you're saying, or are you saying that Monterrey don't beat Aurora Red Diamonds?
I think that could be a draw. I really do.
Okay.
Because
Monterrey will be going for it though, won't they?
Yeah, because they've had like a real game plan sort of thing against River Plate and Inter with like good old fashioned low block men behind the ball sort of thing. And also, then again, Sergio Ramos. It's very much like him to get a telling goal against Red Diamonds, isn't it? Probably a corner.
They haven't really been getting smashed either, though, Aurora. They lost 2-1 to Inter and they lost 3-1 to River Plate.
Yeah.
Whereas Monterrey have had a 0-0 draw and a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Red Diamonds games were all right, to be fair. Yeah, I watched the Inter one. It was quite good.
Monterey will be going all out to win that. They've got. I mean, if they win, it's very, 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 very unlucky if they don't go out. So if they get the win, it's pretty in their favour that they're going through.
Yeah, because even if they get a win, and either if there's a win either way in the other game, they're level on goal difference with someone. And if River Plate win, they're above on goal difference than Inter.
Mm.
And then they're,
Yeah, I mean, if they smash them and the other game's a draw, then they could win the group.
yeah. Now, this is
They could.
very
They could go from third to first and win the group.
Yeah. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think River Plate Monterey, actually. Yeah. I think River Plate Monterey are going to go through with that in that group.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna back that as well. I reckon Monterey win by a couple, same as River Plate.
River
So
Plate.
apologies to Monterey fans in advance.
Yeah, and River Plate fans.
Congratulations, Red Diamonds, on your victory.
Yeah, it's another interesting group though, because
It is, yeah, it is.
we could have
another
all
interesting
3
group,
teams on 5 points by the end of the group.
Mm.
To be fair, before a ball's kicked, you kind of look at the River Inter game and go, "Cool, yeah, that's one I'd want to watch."
Oh yeah, that would be quite a juicy game, to be fair.
Sadly, we've got jobs.
Yeah, and it's 2:00 in the morning, so that won't be happening.
But then now it comes interesting to who would finish top in
the next
F.
group. Yes.
So
Which
River,
is the Starboy group. This is the group. This is the main group. This is what we're all here for. These group games are played at the wonderful time of 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening, where we will all be sat in front of the TV to watch shoe shine and piano football at its best, as the Mamelodi Sundowns go up against Ulsan Hyundai.
and Mamelodi
they're
have
actually
to win.
against Fluminense, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, Fluminense, yeah. They're going to have to win as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got to win.
Unfortunate against Dortmund the other day, 4-3.
Mad game. Mad game. They could have easily been 3-0 up. Then getting 4-1 down and then getting a 4-3 in the last minutes. It was hell of a watch. So entertaining. Easily, like, other than the PSG win against Atletico, I wouldn't say any of the European teams have particularly pulled up any trees. I'd say all the entertainment has been from sort of South America, or basically all the other continents, which is the whole point of the tournament. It's to stop football being so Eurocentric. And I like the tournament for that, but unfortunately it's all come down to a pan note as it usually does. But yeah, unfortunately, Fluminense are good.
Yeah, they are a good side, aren't they? They are a very good side. It would be great if I'd love to see Fluminense go through though. That's the problem.
But the good thing is that Mamelodi don't have a defensive structure. So it's not like it's not like other teams like that Monterey, where you're gonna have to say to them, Monterey, you've got to go out and score and win, win the game, try and win the game by 2 or 3. That Mamelodi are used to this position. Fluminense probably won't go. It could be a quality game. It could be another 4-3. To be honest with you,
yeah,
really could.
Because of who Dortmund are playing, you would imagine Fluminense would be like, well, it's pretty. You'd imagine Dortmund are going to get the 3 point. They're going to get a win. So yeah, I think Mamelodi go through. I think because that they can play that style, they're used to it, and Fluminense will have to go for it as well. But Fluminense do look good, to be fair. I think it's just going to be a very good game, but unfortunately, Fluminense lose.
2 lovely kits as well.
Yeah, but I mean, you imagine getting like the amount of money that for Sundowns,
Mm.
Yeah.
because they would be by far and away the lowest turnover club to go through.
Yeah, well, they're already the richest club in Africa, aren't they?
Mm.
So
Yeah, well, it's because they got that money coming from fucking Propriety Investments Limited. Let's not pull at that strand too much, otherwise the whole thing's going to come down. I mean, they're the only inverted commas underdog that's got a chance of going through.
Yeah.
All your other bottom place teams are ones that you would have, I think, thus far are ones that we'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you go back to Group E, James, so they could then have a chance of playing like River, yeah, or Monterey.
Yeah, because if the top two draw,
If Monterey if they
win
draw,
by 3, they go top of the group.
So you could then have Monterey versus Mamelodi, and you've then got a pretty serious season-changing amount of money.
Mm.
So second place in Group F, which we're saying Mamelodi are going to get, will play either first from the next group or second from the last group if they then get into the quarterfinal. So we can draw the pathway to see how our boys go on and win the tournament from it.
Yeah.
And then we see Shushan and piano football change the face of European football
Mm.
forever.
The actual commentator said something along that line when it got to 4-3.
Did it?
Oh no! When they went 1-0 up, there was actually a reference. I can't remember where it was. Yeah. He said something about it.
They didn't mention it at all in the first game.
Oh no, that's it. He said the stylish boys are in town.
They were talking about the pod, mate, not them.
Yeah.
But yes, we will all be sat down at 8 p.m. and we will all be watching Mamelodi Fluminense, watching Mamelodi win by the odd goal or 2 clear, maybe, depending on how much they turn it on.
I think that's another 4-3 written all over it, to be honest.
Good stuff. Come Wednesday, it might have to be a juicy little bet builder put together for that one.
I think you could just tap in a few things and that would be very high odds.
Yeah. Cards and goals. Goals.
Right, so now let's have a little look at the next group. Wait, who we got? So we're going Brucia and Mamelodi, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shushan and piano football all the way. Now, why is this not showing as 2-2? Oh, because City haven't played.
City haven't played yet. Yeah, they played in the night.
But isn't this group also?
It will be stitched up because Man City will beat Aline, won't they? They should.
Man City beat.
So that's done, isn't it?
Done. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
So that means, depending on who tops the group out of Juve and Man City, the winner of this group plays the Mamelodi Sundowns in the quarterfinals.
Oh, that's a shame for whoever has to play them.
Yeah, that is going to be the moment that Pep realizes that Shushan and piano is the way to go.
Yeah.
That is it. That is the game that changes everything.
Hold on a second. What's going on here? Well, then it'll get turned into like Los Chico or something. You're like, no, that's not what this is.
When this pod is getting thousands of streams, we will make sure everybody knows that it was the Sundowns that created it all.
First pod abroad.
Screamer himself was the man behind it all.
R.I.P.
And they will be the first ones to go against it when we're fed up with it and it's gone. All the beards like it.
When we
They
go
were
over
4-0
and watch,
up. Why
when we
didn't you
go
just play
over and watch
defensive?
Bolton Reading and Bolton are doing it, it'll be great until
Yeah.
half time and then falls apart
Yeah.
in the second half. Damn you, Screamer!
I dance on your grave. Yeah, I think this. I mean, also this group is done, but that last game of we had Casablanca and Al Ain is probably the first I really don't care game.
No, but it won't be, will it? Because Al Ain are from UAE, Qatar, one of those.
Yeah,
And then Casablanca
Morocco, isn't it?
and Morocco. So Casablanca will want to win because £1.4 million is going to be massive to them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I personally, I'm sure they both want to win, yeah, but I mean, I personally couldn't give a remote fuck.
Oh, no, yeah, I get that. But it's like watching a bum fight, though. They might not be great.
Yeah,
But
no,
sometimes
also,
it's very interesting.
like, also Casablanca fans are mint, and they, yeah, but I'm sure Al Ain don't have ultras that travel all over the world to watch them. The Casablanca derby is actually one of my dream games to go to.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
Who's the other side in the Casablanca derby apart from
Raja?
Why Dad? What was that? What did that mean again? Something like central love or something.
I don't know, but I think it's
I'm telling you, it was something like that.
I used to know a guy used to cut my hair. He's a great guy, and he said like it's epic. Casablanca derby is like epic.
Sincere affection, love or sincere affection. It means.
So this is the type of mad stats we love to find out. So it's played at the Stade Mohammed V Stadium, capacity of 45,000, record attendance 110,000.
Yes.
So just to clarify, if anyone is still listening to any of my stats, that maths is correct. So their capacity is 45,000 and their record attendance is 110,000.
Jesus.
So
That must be one of them ones that it was just like a field at one point, and they could just get stupid amount of people in there, and now it's actually got stands, so it's got an actual attendance.
But it's from 1997 that stat as well.
Okay.
So it's not like it was Mickey Mouse times or anything. Like, yeah, it's but yeah, I've heard that it's just carnage to go in.
Well, I'm sure you'll stick out like a sore thumb there, mate. So I hope you have a great time.
Yeah. Who do you support? Casablanca? How the fuck did I still not win?
Right, so this group should be sewn up at about 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. When if Man United do beat Al Ain, but it could be a
Man City, we've both done the same thing, mate.
Yeah. Just trolling them just to make sure that they're definitely not there.
Yeah. So on to the final group now. Salzburg, Real Madrid have now got 4 points. Pachuca still on 0, and Salzburg Al Hilal kick off in.
We're about to kick off
6 minutes. So,
yeah. So also, if you look at the odds for FC Salzburg as well, they're nearly 4-1 to win.
What, tonight?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ain't Al Hilal?
Oh no, they're coming now. 3-1 to beat Al Hilal.
Yeah, that's because there's loads of mad bastards across the country of just come to Salzburg. 4-1. We'll have a bit of that.
Mind you, though, I've just gone on to the teams now, and Al Hilal, Koulibaly, Cancelo, Milenkovic, Savic, Neves, Malcolm, Marcus, load. Actually, it's probably fair.
It's a very good side.
It absolutely is, mate.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it now as it goes. I'm not a fan of this bloody like basketball style. each
Individual
player coming
walkout
up.
now.
Oh god, it sucks.
Mm.
I thought you'd be all
Dreadful.
over that type of thing, Stocks. It seems like it'd be
Nah.
right up your street.
Nah, unless they all had their own entrance music like wrestling, I'm not interested.
Mitrovic would
That-
definitely have the Stone Cold music.
Mm.
Yeah.
And probably
That,
would
or they-
lose as well.
Yeah. That, or it starts off 5-a-side and then like another player for each side comes in after an interval time. That'd
Like
be
the
all right.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah, hooter goes off.
Wait,
One player runs from opposite corner.
you know, so say if it's pissing it down, right?
You're
If
the
you're on the
first one out.
changing rooms, you'd be like, right, I don't want to go first, thanks. If that's all right. And then like, yeah, you're just there waiting, like, come on, hurry up. Yeah. I would do what the great Martin Johnson did for England rugby against Ireland and say, no, we're going to kick off. We're not going to wait to shake fucking more hands. We don't care. So we're just going to get in the half and get ready for kickoff.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be doing with that shit.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, he stood on the wrong side, didn't they? They stood on the wrong side, and Ireland like,
Yeah.
we always stand there. Can you move? And he just went, no.
no,
No.
we can either kick the game off or we're not moving. Yeah. So I think, but if Salzburg beat Al Hilal, that's it, done, isn't it?
They'll do well to do that, though.
Oh, they would, yeah. But I mean, a draw really opens up their group as well, because Al Hilal have got Pachuca last, and then it's Salzburg, Real Madrid, isn't it? So
Yeah, so it's not done then, is it? Because if Al Hilal then smashed Pachuca, Salzburg.
oh no, for sure, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a draw, and that group is still alive because of who Al Hilal played last game. Yeah,
Last game, yeah.
That could be a good game. Pachuca haven't been that bad, to be honest. I think they've been quite good. Other than, obviously, Auckland have taken a bit of a walloping, but they're semi-pro, so I think that's kind of it. Every game's been pretty competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember seeing many games that were silly scoreline. To be fair, the only one that I've seen that was a bit of a slapping was actually PSG Atletico.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was actually quite one-sided as well. That match, it was just a road game, wasn't it? I think this game though, I think Al Hilal is going to be a draw tonight, and then they'll beat Pachuca, and that will take them through.
Okay. I actually think Al Hilal win tonight. I think they beat Salzburg.
I'm just checking the.
They don't need the money, do they? They just don't care.
Yeah, but people that don't need money always want more money, Jack.
I'd just like some, if that's quite possible, please.
Exactly, we're like Auckland. We're just happy to be here. Give me some money and I'll turn up. Don't worry about winning games of football.
I'll celebrate on shot on target, no dramas.
Celebrate the entrance fee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll wait in the rain, no dramas. I'll go out first, no problem.
I was going to say, when we were talking about that, imagine that someone came up with that kind of concept for a five-side match, where it took 5 minutes to get the full team on the pitch, how interesting it would be of who teams picked to go out first. So you had a game where both the goalies went out first and just had to stand there and wait for a full minute because they can't leave their box.
Yeah. And everyone's just doing like the Steve Bruce, you right? Hit each other. Right?
Well, what if no one brought the keepers out?
Yeah, again.
Someone was playing rush keeper. Someone was playing rush.
So many different concepts, wasn't it? Like the first minute you could come out, both strikers go out, and one team could be 4-0 down.
It'd be like when we used to play end to end at Power League as a warm up, just pinging it over each other's head into the net.
Seeing if you could clip it over and get it back down.
So you going for over? Who do you reckon's going to win it?
The whole tournament?
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns. What's the situation?
So sorry, but
All right.
yeah,
All right. After them, who do you reckon's going to go close?
I think there'll be a shock. I do think that some of these South American teams really might go far.
Absolutely.
I
I
just
reckon
don't
it'd be.
think you can underestimate the power of that money.
I think that as a fact, there's just there's that whole vibe in South America of like they steal all our players.
A
Like
chip
they've
on
got
the
a real
shoulder, yeah.
chip on. Yeah, they've got a proper chip on their shoulder. They're like
Probably quite a justified
fresher,
one.
yeah. Oh, definitely. Like they're fresher physically and mentally than the European sides. The only one that I reckon is still gonna be going strong is PSG. I reckon it could be PSG and the South American side in the final.
Mm.
I'm going Botafogo to make the final.
Wow. So that's Botafogo and Mamelodi then it would have to be, right?
Yes. And that is actually possible before anybody tries to shut down what's been said.
FIFA would be beside themselves in tears if it is that. FIFA want PSG versus City, don't they? They don't want Botafogo versus Mamelodi. I mean, they're going to get it. They ain't got a choice but to eat that sandwich.
They literally haven't got a choice. They've got no way around it.
What I really want is I want the stories of your Botafogos where the club manager's ringing round hotels because he hadn't booked, more than the 30 weeks.
All the hotels are booked. They've got nowhere
Yeah,
to stay.
that's the stories I want. I want Mamelodi to be asking for an advance because
Yeah.
they've got to pay 4 times the odds in LA or something like.
They're in hostels. Do you get hostels in LA?
Yeah, bad ones like crackhead hostels as well, not like fun
Yeah.
youth hostels. Yeah,
So the semi-final could potentially be Fluminense against Botafogo.
yeah, that would be absolutely incredible.
That could be one of the semi-finals. Oh no, I've lied. That would be a quarterfinal. Ignore me.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good. Do you know what? Getting real nostalgic vibes of like watching tournaments when you was a kid watching this, because obviously when you used to watch a World Cup or Euros, you never used to see these players play week in week out. Whereas now when
Yeah.
you,
Mm.
it's like it's like it feels like you're a scout a little bit, just picking out some players.
Mhm.
Obviously we was talking off air, like the Sundance striker could quite feasibly get a move.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Be very surprised if he doesn't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he goes, if he plays well in the third game, someone will have to be looking at it because he scored 2.
When he scores the winner in the final, someone's gonna buy him.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, mate, you just retire, right? You complete your football. What's the point? Because I want to know about these contracts that they've got written in where they'll be like, yeah, if you get to the quarterfinals, we'll give you 20% of the match fee. Semi-finals, we'll give you 50%. And they'll be like, holy shit, this is like actual life-changing sums of dough. Yeah, I hope it's. I mean, I actually quite like in the space of like 2 years, I've gone from like not being a fan of PSG to actually not minding them, but I would like it to be a rascal club.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That striker's 29, by the way, so maybe not.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame. Still, one last
it's all right.
payday.
If they win it, he can buy a new passport and he'll be 18 again. So yeah.
Well, Rondon must be nearly 40 and he's still dancing around. So on that basis,
got a call up for the under-21s, isn't he? Yeah, isn't it funny that sort of PSG is a bit like this tournament, like all like the money men are saying, "Oh yeah, people want this, people want this." Just have decent games of football, and people will like you. That's it. Like that's all. They tried like buying the best players in the world, and people just hated them more. Now they've just got an honest, hard-working side that play lovely football, and everyone seems to like them now.
And Vitinha.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's like this tournament. Like they keep trying to sell it as oh, look at all these big clubs, and no, it's the smaller clubs playing, and the upsets we get in it. Well, I say smaller. Obviously, these are like massive clubs in South America, but you'd say,
well, on the world stage, they are smaller,
yeah,
aren't they? There's no two ways about that. Yeah.
yeah, and they're given more than their fair share. Just makes it interesting. That's what we want to see. We want to see upsets and close shaves, and the football will speak for itself. I was deeply cynical, well, to a degree. I still am deeply cynical about this tournament. It's all about a pan note. But as always, there's just some good football that is pulling me around and making me watch it.
Yeah, I think the thing that's been a benefit is that these what we perceive as lesser teams are in season.
Yeah. Yeah, because all the South American clubs are 10, 11, 12 games into their season, isn't it?
And that's probably given them the extra 10% that they desperately needed to try and make it more of a more of a chance.
Level playing
Really.
field.
Yeah, well, I think level playing field. Yeah. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, but I think if it wasn't for that, it would be very, very tough, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100% would, yeah.
And also their supporters around the grounds are making it up, because otherwise it's you'd describe it as dwindling in the stands.
You would, mate. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have that much interest in it. In fact, I wouldn't have any. I'll be honest with you, because of the level I support anyway. I wouldn't have any interest if it was just all the top European teams playing what is kind of what they do anyway. Your Audi Cups and that. I don't ever watch anything like that because I couldn't care less. I honestly couldn't give a fuck. So this is kind of it is the exciting thing, really, for me. And they have saved it. You're right, because couldn't really care less, really, if it's just massive teams playing each other. So
the intrigue is definitely ramped up, man.
Yeah, we don't need another Champions League.
Yeah.
And
it's funny, like I say, I was cynical about it. In a few years, so imagine like 10-year-olds now, they'll remember the first one. Then when they get to our age, you're like, oh yeah, this storied tournament that's been played they say 4 years. Apparently there's rumours of it going down to every 2 years. Like, it would be like a proper thing for them, wouldn't it? We're like, obviously we've got no grounds for comparison, so we're a little bit snooty about it to start with, but it looks like it's getting successful other than the crowds. The football's been good and people are watching it, so you can't. And obviously, Infantino is so egotistical, he'll do everything he can. Do you know he's got his name on the trophy twice?
Yeah, his name's engraved onto the trophy.
Twice.
I'll tell you the one thing I have learned from this tournament, and FIFA World Cup will also be wanting to look at this 30-minute lightning rule. So when lightning strikes, you're off the pitch for 30 minutes straight away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If lightning strikes in the 29th minute of that delay, your 30 minutes starts again. So literally, and then 29th minute of the next one starts again. So that'll be something I can't see him. I think they'll have to change that. You couldn't have an Italy-Spain quarterfinal top level players stopping and then having to start again for an hour. It was actually I've got a name now. It was an ex-England female footballer. She was doing the commentary and she'd played over there, and she was like, they do it at all levels, youth all the way up to professional. Well, I've watched so much NFL. I don't remember ever seeing that happen in NFL ever. Ever. So it's weird that I've never.
I think I haven't watched the game, but I remember the highlights because you got Red Zone.
Hmm,
I remember saying, I think it was it might have been a Miami game,
yeah.
but I could absolutely also be making that up.
Well, that
But
will
yeah, I
be
was
a
us.
concern for them. That will be a
Oh,
concern
Oh yeah,
for them.
100%. Because it happened the other night, didn't it? Because
It
Benfica,
did, yeah.
Auckland got.
Well, it happened to Mamelodi.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the delayed the starter. But Benfica, Auckland was like the
Yeah,
5 o'clock, and it got to
yeah,
half time, and then it finished after I think it was Fluminense Chelsea, which was the late game.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And I mean, the Auckland
Imagine that
players
happens
must.
in one of these last thingies where the games kick
Well,
off at the same time. You get a half-hour delay in one of them, and then you kind of know what you've got to do before the game's finished.
Interesting.
well, no. So that's also what I was thinking was what will they do about that?
They just have
What
to. I don't know.
will they actually stop the other game?
Yeah, can
You
you
know,
like
because
stop?
the reason why I say it is because they're timing their watches so that
Yeah.
second halves kick off
At the same time,
Yeah.
yeah.
at the same time. Now, in this day and age of VAR, I also think that's fucking harsh because you could quite conceivably have a 10-minute delay in another game, a 5, 6, 7, 8 minute delay in another game, and yours might end after 1 minute.
Yeah.
So you've then got to wait another 7 minutes in your half time. If they're timing it down to the second between games for kick-off second halves, what will they actually do in terms of that?
But wouldn't they split the difference so that one team gets a bit less and one team gets a bit more?
How
I
do you
don't think
mean?
there's a strict rule on how much time you get for half time, is there? I think it can go down to a certain number. So say there is a 7 minute difference between the games, one team waits an extra 3.5 minutes and one team gets 3.5 minutes less. One game gets 3.5 minutes less, so then they both kick off at the same time.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
It can come down. I'm not sure what the number it is. It can come down to, but 15 minutes isn't the minimum. I know that.
Yeah, but okay, what happens if it is the lightning rule then?
Yeah, no, it's bonkers. What happens if the lightning rule happens after half time?
Well, yeah, that's kind of why I think they might look at. I think they'll look at tweaking something to do with that. I can't. You can't have it continuously happen. In places like Orlando, Florida, it'll happen. It could happen once every 30 minutes for 5, 6, 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
So, as I say, I can't remember the name now, but the England striker that had played there in the women's league, she was saying we've had games that have hit the cut-off point and that's it. The game's then called off. She said, but I've been sat there in the changing rooms for 2 hours after we should have finished, and all the lactic acid started to build up. I'm basically not ready to go. So then you start getting yourself trained and ready to go in case you can. Then lightning strikes again. That won't go down well in top-level international football.
Would that have been Rachel Daly or Kelly Smith?
Don't think it was Kelly Smith. She's got she's got spectacularly white teeth.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure that narrows down my search.
But no, it's not Kelly Smith. She's a nerd.
No, I would have thought it was more Rachel Daly than Kelly Smith.
Well,
The only other name that's come up is Alessia Russo or Eni Aluko. It's definitely not Eni Aluko.
no. But yeah, no, it has been a much more fun tournament, or maybe it's just that we're starved, aren't we?
I don't know, because I generally look forward to having like a summer off of football, so I'll catch up on all the things what normal people do. So like just TV series. I don't watch a TV series in like for 9 months because I'm just watching football constantly. But I'm not even missing any of that. I've quite enjoyed this. It's nothing like finishing work and just flicking on a game in tournament football. It's nice.
Mm. Yeah, and it is a good warm up for the World Cup as well.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it, of having this tournament?
Yeah,
make some money and a sort of a rehearsal for the World Cup.
Have kickoff times been? Are they going to be 5, 8, and 11 in the World Cup?
Oh, fucking hope not. Then again, you could get them rascal opening hours like we had for South Korea, Japan. That'd be good.
Mm. I actually think it might have been earlier than 5, but that would then be 10 a.m. kickoffs, and surely not.
I don't suppose kickoff times have already been agreed for next year, so that may be to
Sure,
come.
I've seen that they had been. I'm sure I
Maybe
saw
they
it.
do. I'd be shocked if they're not. So, oh no, that's previous.
Yeah, to be honest, they must have been everything. Yeah, it must be. It must already be. They must have agreed it before they even draw groups, because you always know where you're playing and who straight away, did you? Find
Oh
it a
no,
bit
actually,
brutal.
it is now saying that it's going to be finalised after the group stages, after the groups are drawn. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 1994 group stage kickoff times in British summertime were 4:30, 5:30, 9, and midnight. So, but 4:30 would be 11:30. Can't see it being that early. I think they'll do it the same.
Be interesting to see what they do, to be fair. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Have they announced where the next one of these is? Yeah.
It will be where the World Cup's being held.
Oh, is that what they do? They just...
Yeah. So remember the year before a World Cup, you used to have the Confederations Cup.
Yeah.
This is sort of taken over that, but a club version.
Okay.
I believe that's the plan. I believe that's the whole plan for it now.
Oh, interesting. Seems like a bit of a weird thing to do to stop it moving around. Wait, so the 2030, isn't 2030 the one where it's hosted in 2 different continents and 6 different countries?
Oh, we already had that one. I don't know.
I'm pretty
Let's
sure
save that for another. Let's save that for another pod.
It might even be 3 different continents, because I'm sure it's like Spain, Portugal, and maybe Morocco.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
you've also got Argentina and 2 others from down there as well who host in a bit. Or am I
I
going
thought
mad?
it was just Spain, Portugal, Morocco.
I might be going crazy, but I'm sure that there's 3 and 3.
Wow.
Yeah, there is. Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile.
Fuck.
Or does that say it on? I don't know. Fuck knows. The image I'm looking at has both. I might just be going bonkers here, though.
Well,
no, Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. Centenary match holders. Argentina, Paraguay. What the fuck is going on
there? Yeah, that's definitely another pod.
I know Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay will all host 1 game each.
all right.
But it is in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. So I wasn't going completely bonkers. It's just not a completely split hosting. It's just them 3 nations will all host 1 game, which is crap, because that means all 3 of them nations actually have to be in the tournament and don't have to qualify, when 2 of them aren't actually that great in a minute.
Yeah, fuck Argentina.
I was listening to something like World Cup the other day, in that, you know how they try and take it around the world and all of that stuff. Yeah. But now you just get all these white elephant stadiums that are not used. So they just spunk all this money just for stadiums that are never going to be used again. Like, what's the point? Like, the game's big enough. Does it really need to go to all these other places? It's just a money thing. But the waste in it is spectacular.
And the corruption.
And the corruption, yeah.
South Africa was the epitome of that. They promised that the money would go to help all these shanty towns, and they just built a wall around them.
Yeah.
It was
and
horrible.
And Qatar, obviously, the massive loss of life in building the stadiums.
Yeah.
But then I understand the sentiment of taking it around the world, but like, at what cost?
Yeah.
Why not just just give it? Then I suppose it would bounce around the same few countries, wouldn't it?
It has to, yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, they're making it bigger. They've got to start spreading it out between countries.
Well,
They
yeah,
haven't really
it's
got a
just
choice.
the financial burden of hosting it is loads, and FIFA
Especially in
do their
this
thing
the market that we're in now.
because
Clients are over the
FIFA
market.
FIFA force them saying they don't pay tax when they're
Mm.
in the country, didn't they? And things
Mhm.
like that, and all the other no doubt nefarious things they get up to.
Mm.
Wow, we've gone on a proper tangent this one, here,
We
lads.
have, yeah.
That was a wild left turn.
We've gone from praising the Sundowns to serious geopolitical football talk.
Yeah, but that's not related to any corruption talk. Can we just clarify? The Sundowns and
No.
corruption are not related.
No, 100% not.
Mm.
100% not. That sounds like a good time to wrap. To me, to be fair, as always, does anybody have anything they would like to plug, football related or otherwise, before we go?
No, just I'm available for any free merchandise from Sundown. So anything they want to send me, I'm here, willing. If you go up to that many X's, I'm willing to take them.
Well, I think that classes for all of us, as we're now founding members of the Mamelodi Sundowns European Fan Club. So if anybody else wants to join, let us know. Mine's the usual. I'll be on SpursKingsTV Wednesday evening from about 10 o'clock. So it's a good show, it's a good laugh. See you there. But if not, same time next week, 9 o'clock Sunday. That one, people.